each inhale and each slow, steady exhale. Now, as we settle into that intentional breath, we'll take a quick scan of our body, simply noticing any aches or pains, any tweaks or twinges, anything that leaves us feeling low energy or high energy or feeling anxious or worried. Just simply noticing those sensations or lack of those sensations. Maybe instead it's the sensation of contentment or peacefulness. But just taking a moment to sense what's happening in your internal world of experience. And then let's take a moment to set an intention for our practice today. That thing that you might be trying to connect with today could be a peace of mind or a release of anxiety, maybe a little stress reduction, or simply improving our health. Or maybe today it's a connection with your breath, your body, or even gratitude. Whatever it is, it can be a useful tool to spend just a moment at the beginning of our class, bringing this intention into our minds. Wonderful job. Now let's let that go for now. As we move through our practice, we'll allow that intention to be the lens that we move through. See what we can connect with or access in our intuition or inner wisdom through that lens. We'll then start to get into our breathing exercise today, which is our Ujjayi breath, or that ocean breath. For this breathing exercise, we breathe in and out through the nose, if it's available, with equal length on our inhale and our exhale. We begin to narrow the back of the throat, constricting the muscles. And as we exhale, the lips are sealed. And maybe a slightly audible sound like the wave of an ocean or a Darth Vader or a little sigh on the exhale. You can even imagine a mirror being held under your nose that fogs up with each exhale. This is a beautiful breath that you can use throughout our practice to help us build a little bit of energy. It also helps to calm our body and our mind. It can even help us release feelings of irritation or frustration. You're doing great. One more of those Ujjayi breaths. And then allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. Not adjusting it in any way. Allowing the flow, like the waves of the ocean, to flow in and flow out. Today we'll talk about resting when we are tired. This is something that I struggle with all the time. We live in a society where busyness seems to determine our level of success. But is it really success? Sometimes our bodies are tired and they simply need stillness. Or our minds are exhausted and they need a break. We must remember that each and every one of us deserves rest. Perhaps this is why I was so drawn to yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. Because this is a place where my body, my mind, and my heart can rest. We honor ourselves by resting when we are tired. And resting is not a sign of weakness. It is simply the gift that you deserve to give yourself. So as we close our opening grounding meditation, I'll leave you with a few mantras. You're more than welcome to repeat them to yourself or to change the words to something that might feel a little more authentic to you today. When we do a mantra, we breathe in on our inhale, filling our lungs with air. And then as we exhale, we repeat, may I honor myself the next time I feel tired. May I give myself the gift of rest. And may I allow my body, my mind, and my heart time to recharge. May I honor myself the next time I feel tired. May I give myself the gift of rest. We'll take this last moment of our opening meditation to offer ourselves some gratitude that we took time out of our busy schedule to show up here in this space today. And then when you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. We'll flutter the eyes open. And if you're down in a constructive rest, let's come on up to a seated position. If you're in the chair, coming out to the edge of your chair. If you're seated on the floor, you could have a prop under you. You could have your legs in a crisscross or in another position that feels good for you. And if you're seated in the chair, a seated mountain is really the best place to start things off. Let's exhale. We'll drop our right shoulder down towards our right ear. And we'll have a couple of options for you here today. Maybe you want to circle the right hand around and let it rest on the side of the head. If that doesn't feel good, maybe instead you'd like to lift and lower your chin. Feel free to take any movement here as we stretch through this left side of our neck. Great job. You have your hand on the side of your head, go ahead and release it, and then we'll bring our chin down towards our chest, opening up just through the back of the neck, and take a few side to side movements. And then let's take it over to the left ear to left shoulder. And same thing, you can choose to either just bring the hand to the head and let the weight of the hand assist in the stretch, or maybe you want a little bit more dynamic movement and you lift and lower the chin a couple of times. All right, go ahead and come to stillness, release the hand if it's on your head, and then go ahead and curl chin down towards your chest one more time. Really keep your shoulders back though, so that you're feeling this through the neck and not rounding through the spine. And then with our inhale, take your chin up as high as feels good, opening through the front of the neck. Take it up and down just a couple of times. All right, we'll come back to the horizon with our gaze, and then let our hands drop by our sides. As we inhale, we'll scrunch our shoulders up towards the ears, a little bit of squeezing here, and then with an exhale, let it release. And take that a couple times. Squeeze it up on your inhale, exhale to release. Another one, squeeze it up. Maybe even that Ujjayi breath as we'll join these. All right, last time. All right, we're gonna keep our shoulders in together, but we'll start to bring them up towards the ears and then roll them down the spine. And allow your hands to slide on the legs if you want. All right, and then reverse those circles. All right, let's take it in opposite direction or same direction, but at a rotation. So as one shoulder's going, the other one's going in the opposite, and then reverse those. You may notice some stiffness through the spine as you start to move things today. All right, let's come back to our straight spine. Inhale, arms out wide to a T. And then with our exhale, we'll bring our hands onto our shoulders with the elbows out towards the side. And then we're going to start to take big old circles with those elbows. You can be as big or as shallow as feels good for you, but we're really working on moving through the shoulders here. Great job. Now reverse those circles. All right, release that. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, bring it down through your prayer pose. Pause here in your seated prayer for just a moment, reconnecting with that intention that you started class with today. Great job. With our inhale, allow the eyes to open if they were closed. Circle arms up and overhead, reaching them up tall. And with our exhale, that right hand will come either to our prop or to the floor or even a block by the hip as we start to hinge over to the right side. And we're going to pause during our hinge and take just a circle or two with that top left arm. We're going to go in one direction a couple times and then reverse it and go in the other direction a couple of times. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, let's drop the left hand by the left hip and start to lean over to the left. Noticing how that's feeling as you hold it first. And then let's start to find that circular motion through the shoulder. And then reverse it, couple of circles. Beautiful job. Inhale, arms come back up overhead. Alrighty, no matter which seated position we're in, we're gonna come into a crisscross applesauce with the right leg in front of the left leg. And then let's inhale as we start to lift the arms up and overhead, and then with an exhale, twist away from the right leg. So twist towards the left. Each inhale allows you to lengthen the spine. Each exhale allows you to soften. All right, inhale to come back through center. Exhale, twist it towards the right. So this time towards the leg that's on top. Let's come back through center, arms up, and then exhale to bring it down. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring our feet, if we're on the floor, just in front of us, like with the feet bent or the knees bent and the soles of the feet on the floor. If you're seated in the chair, you'll stay in your seated mountain. And as we inhale, send your left leg out long and curl that right knee in towards your chest and take just a few circles with that ankle. And then reverse them. Beautiful job. Now we're going to come into our figure four, bringing that right ankle over onto that left shin or leg, or just letting the right knee fall out to the side, outside of the leg if you're seated in the chair and that feels better. We'll inhale to lengthen our spine up long. And then you can either stay right where you're at here, or if you'd like, maybe see what it would feel like to start to hinge at the hips, drawing your heart a little closer to your shin. Great job. Our next exhale allows us to come out of the forward fold, inhaling the spine tall, and then release the right side. Take any movement you might need. And then we'll take that from the other side. So as we start with the left leg in the top position of the crisscross applesauce, we'll lengthen the spine, taking the arms up and overhead. And with our exhale, we twist towards the right and away from the top knee. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale to twist towards the top knee or towards the left. Inhale to come back through center. We uncross the legs, taking the left leg out a little straighter, and then start to hug the left knee in towards the chest. And we'll take just a few ankle circles with that left ankle. And then reverse them. And then we find our seated figure four. And again, you don't have to have the foot on the knee. If that's too much, you can have it on the floor or even a prop. Or you can bring it all the way up to the knee if that feels good for you. We'll lengthen the spine. Or maybe start to find a hinge forward. Over that chin. Getting a little bit deeper into our figure four here. A little or a lot. And then our next inhale rolls us back to a straight spine. And we'll uncross our figure four. Feel free to wiggle the legs or shake them, anything that they need in this moment. And then we'll start to come up to our standing poses. Getting there in your time and in your way. We'll first come to stand up in our mountain pose. Always welcome to have your prop nearby for a little bit of support. And then Let's inhale, circle arms up and overhead, reaching hands up high. As we take this, we're going to take a little bit of a balance. So you're welcome to bring a hand to a prop for support, and then start to lift one heel and then the other. If you're feeling pretty balanced, lifting one at a time, maybe explore lifting both heels at one time. Great job playing with the bottom of our feet and our tiptoes. Their next exhale, heels come down if they were lifted, and then start to hinge into your forward fold, bringing hands down towards your prop, your legs, or anywhere else. Keeping a nice gentle bend in the knees, maybe even taking a rag doll here. A nice gentle roll from side to side. Alrighty, with our next inhale, come to a slow roll back up all the way to standing tall mountain. Then with our exhale, we'll bring it down through a prayer into our mountain pose, standing mountain. And take just a moment more with that lens of our intention. And then either keeping the eyes closed or opening them. Start to see about lifting your toes and then putting them back down. Lifting toes and putting them back down. Gonna get some stretching through the bottom of the feet here. All right, bring them back down and then shift your weight over to one side. We're gonna flip the toes and stretch through the top of the foot. And then bring the right foot down and flip the other foot, letting the nail side of the toe come down. Great job. Now we're going to shift over to the other side, lifting the knee in front of us and take just a few ankle circles and then reverse them. And then step it back just a little bit, about a foot back, and begin to tuck the toes as you press the heel away from you. Again, you can hold on to a prop here for more support, but we're getting through the back of that calf or maybe the glute or thigh muscle. Beautiful. All right, go ahead and bring that foot back forward. And then we'll take the other, shift our weight to the other side, begin to lift the left knee and take just a few ankle circles. One direction and then the other. And then begin to step it back about a foot as you begin to press into that back heel. Bend into that front knee. Go into that nice calf stretch. Great job. Come back through center, step it back up, and then we'll just take our legs and rock our weight left to right, rolling towards the sides of our feet, rolling through those ankles a little bit. Alrighty, beautiful job. Let's go ahead and take a bind here at the lower back, bringing interlacing fingers, wrists, elbows, grabbing your shirt or a strap as you draw your knuckles down and lift your heart up. Roll your shoulder blades back towards each other, feeling the heart lifting here. And then with an exhale, take a slow roll into your forward fold. Pause when you get to your furthest point. That could be a halfway lift or fully folded forward fold. And then inhale to slowly roll back up, keeping your hands at your lower back. Once your head and shoulders arrive, see what it might feel like to take your hands just slightly away from your back. Now, if having the bind, maybe just grab your shirt and then see what it feels like. You're doing great. Inhale, lift arms up and overhead. Wiggle those fingers up tall. Exhale, hinge into your forward fold, bringing hands down to your prop. Press into your hands to halfway lift, figure 7. Exhale, hinge into that forward fold, bend the knees, sink the hips, slow roll, tall mountain. Exhale, bind, but take the opposite grip this time. Knuckles come down towards the floor as we lift the heart. Exhale, begin to find your hinge. Again, you can stop at halfway or continue to a full forward fold. Inhale, slow roll back up to standing. Once your shoulders and head arrive, maybe explore what it would feel like to take the hands away from the hips again with this different bind. Exhale to release, hands back to hips. And then with our inhale, let's take our arms out wide to the side. We're going to come into a T pose. We're going to bring that right arm under the left arm, and we're going to start to find an eagle arm variation of our choice. So maybe we grab opposite elbows, maybe the backs of hands or the fronts of hands, or if you're using a strap, you can bring that in between the hands. And then just like in a normal eagle, we're going to keep the spine tall, but then we're going to start to bend into the knees like we're sitting down in a chair pose. And we're going to pause here for just a moment. We're going to hold this for about 3, 2, 1. And on your 1, sink it a little bit lower. You're doing great. Inhale to come back up to a straight spine. Exhale to release your eagle arms back to a T, and then take them even wider back, opening up through the heart space. And then with our exhale, we'll bring our left arm under our right, finding our eagle arm variation on this side. And again, either staying right here, enjoying this opening of the shoulder blades, or maybe you start to bend into those knees and sink into that chair-like pose. And your next exhale, sink it down just a little bit more. You're doing great. Inhale, tall mountain, take it out to a T. And then a little bit wider. Great job. We'll release our hands down by our hips. And then let's come maybe standing behind a prop if we're going to use it for support. And we're going to step our left foot back as we come into a high lunge. We're going to bend into both knees. Hands can stay on our prop. They can come to our hips. They can come to our prayer heart. Or maybe we lift those hands up overhead, reaching them towards the ceiling in a crescent lunge of our choice. Great job. No matter where your hands are located, we're going to start to take a hinge at about a 45-degree angle from the torso. Your hands are lifted. They're an extension of that straight line down the left side of your body. If your hands are grounded for a little more support, that's great as well. Or maybe even just at the prayer or your knee. All right, we're doing great. Inhale, come back to your crescent lunge, straighten both legs. Exhale, hinge and fold over that front leg. Beautiful job. Step the back foot in. Inhale, roll up to the mountain. And then let's take it on the other side. Right leg steps back. We find our crescent lunge of choice. Hands are in the most supported place, wherever that is. As we squeeze those thigh muscles together, activating our lower body. Now we're going to turn on our core just a little bit as we begin to hinge at about a 45-degree angle in that upper body. You're doing great. Hold for one more breath. Inhale to come back to your crescent lunge. Exhale to straighten that front leg and then hinge over your pyramid pose. Beautiful job. Inhale to come back up and exhale to step it back in. Beautiful job. Alrighty, let's do just a little bit of a balance challenge here. So we'll start, again, always welcome to be close to a prop for support. But we'll start in our mountain. We'll inhale to lift that right foot and knee, just like we've done already this class. And then open it out to the side and find a tree pose. It can go anywhere from upper hip down to the floor for support. You could even have a block under your foot. You can keep a hand on your prop, keep it in a prayer, maybe reach your hands up high. Wherever you're at, you're looking at a spot on the floor that's not moving to help with your balance. Beautiful job. With our next exhale, bringing hands towards hips if they were lifted or towards your prop for support. We bring that right knee through center and then bring it down. Take a moment, maybe shake out ankles if you need to. And then when we're ready, we'll switch to the right side, beginning to lift that left knee. And then as we exhale, we open it to the side and we find a home on the right leg. Finding our spot that's not moving on the floor, we can stay where we're at, or maybe grow some branches. They can be the same branches or a different one. Beautiful job. Our next exhale, releasing hands towards hips if they were lifted, and then left knee comes forward before we release as gracefully as we can into our mountain pose. Wonderful job. Alrighty, from our mountain pose, we'll inhale, circle arms up and overhead, reaching them up high. Our next exhale takes us into our forward fold. Our hands are on a prop of our choice, whether that's a chair or a block, but we're keeping a nice gentle bend in our knees. And we're going to start to explore a warrior three here. So we'll shift our weight over to the left leg and begin to slide our right toes behind us. Now you can keep them on the floor, or you could start to lift them up, bringing them up as high as hip height. Keep a nice bend in that standing knee. Gaze stays down. You're doing great. A little bit of a strengthening builder on that left thigh here. Exhale, lower it down to the mat. Take any movement or wiggles, and then slide the weight over to the right. And as we inhale, we slide those left toes back. Again, you can keep them on the mat for more stability, or start to lift them a little, or all the way up to hip height. Warrior three. Keeping our hips in neutral here. Beautiful. Go ahead and step that foot back down into your forward fold. We'll press into our hands to halfway lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, tall mountain, circling it all the way up. Maybe even coming onto tiptoes or one on the other. And then exhale, heels down, hands through a prayer. Checking in with your intention one more time. When you're ready, we'll open the eyes. And we're going to take a triangle pose. And we're going to step our left foot back, turn the toes to the side, and open those hips, but keep both legs straight. And only about a foot to a foot and a half in between our legs. As we inhale, we open the arms out wide to a T. And then as we inhale, we start to pull our fingertips forward as that back hip shoots out back behind us. And when we can't reach any further forward, we'll start to hinge, and we'll find a home for our bottom hand, either on a prop, our leg, or anywhere else. But we start to stack wrist and shoulders in a straight line, no matter where our hand is at. Holding this for just a moment. Great job. Inhale to come through center, arms out wide to a T. Bring hands to your hips, and then step that back foot in. And let's take that on the other side. Stepping left foot back, we open it out to the side, or opposite foot, sorry. I think it's the right foot this time, actually. Other leg pointing to the front, hips to the side. Inhale, arms to a T. We begin to pull that front hand forward until it can't reach anymore as we shoot the hip out back behind us. And then we find a home for our bottom hand on any prop, but work to stack the wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist throughout our triangle pose. Great job. With our next inhale, pull it back up straight. And then we're going to come into a wide-legged side pose. So take that front leg, turn it to the side, make any adjustments you need, making it any wider or shorter stance for you. We'll inhale, circle arms up and overhead. And with our exhale, begin to hinge into your forward fold, bringing hands down to a prop under your face. Go ahead and let yourself sink into this forward fold. Great job. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll walk our prop as far over to the right side. If your prop doesn't walk, then walk your hands along your prop to the rightmost side, or you can run them down along your leg as well, as we take a little bit of a forward fold over to the right. And then exhale through center over to the left. We'll inhale through center, halfway lift, pause, and then inhale to bring the arms out wide to a T as we come up to our 5-pointed star. Beautiful movement there. Alrighty, we've done a great job in our standing poses, but it's time to cool down. So either coming back to a seat in your chair, in a seated mountain pose, or coming onto a tabletop on the floor, and we'll sink into a child's pose of our choice. So you're welcome to keep knees together or apart if you're on the floor. If you're seated in the chair, same thing, knees can stay together or apart, but we hinge forward, curling chin to chest. Now we have a couple of options if you're seated in the chair. We can reach down towards our toes or keep our hands on our lap. If you happen to be close enough to another prop, like a wall or even a couch, you could bring your hands onto that surface and just like the floor child's pose, allow your head to dangle in between your arms, inviting a little bit of a shoulder stretch in as well. We'll take one last breath in our child's pose of choice. Our next inhale brings us back into our either tabletop on the floor or seated mountain. And let's take a couple of cat-cows, moving through the spine in that familiar rounding movement that you know so well. Just noticing how everything feels to do this towards the end of class versus at the very beginning when everything is warming up. Beautiful job. All right, go ahead and come to stillness. If you're on the floor, go ahead and come onto a seat on the floor, sending your legs out longish in front of you. And in our chair, same thing, we'll send our legs out longish in front of us. We're going to bring a bend into our right knee and bring our right foot right inside of our left leg as we take a sage twist. So if you're seated on the floor, you'll be hugging it almost in towards your chest. But if you're seated in the chair, you have the option to leave it on the floor or maybe even bring a prop under it to bring it a little bit higher and closer up towards your chest. All right, but no matter which variation, we'll inhale, we'll take our arms up and overhead. With our next exhale, we're going to turn our left shoulder towards that right knee. You can capture the right knee with your hand, or you could hook the elbow as you turn towards your right side of your sage twist. Alrighty, as we exhale, we'll unwind through the spine. We'll bring our right hand inside of our right leg and point it down towards the toes. As we twist towards our left, we press that right leg into the right arm to help assist our twist. Beautiful job. All right, let's exhale to unwind the spine. Straighten both legs out. This time we begin to bend the left knee, bringing it inside that right leg, making either similar or different adjustments on this side. We sit up tall on our inhale, maybe arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, twisting towards our bent knee, taking that sage twist as we hug our right shoulder towards that left knee this time. Beautiful job. Exhale to unwind, but then continue towards the left or towards the right. Left arm comes inside that left leg. They're getting a little pressure pressing into each other as you turn towards the opposite direction. Exhale to release through center. This time we come into a butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Keep the soles low or bring them really close in towards your hips. And keep the spine tall, or you could even hinge a little forward. Inhale to come back to your straight spine. Let your knees come in towards center. And then if you're on the floor, go ahead and roll down onto your backs. If we're seated in the chair, we're going to keep our hips forward, but lean back. You can even put a pillow behind you if that would help with a little bit of comfort or maybe blocks. And then let's bring our right knee in towards our chest. We're going to hug it in one more time. And then you're holding behind your leg or you're grabbing your strap as you send your leg out long in front of you. Or maybe up towards the ceiling if you're on your back. And then let's take that into a twist. So we'll bend the knee. If you're in the chair, you might hook it on the outside left knee as you twist over. And if you're on the floor, you can stack, stagger, or take any modifications as you twist it out here. Done a great job today. Inhale to bring everything through center. We send the right leg out long and we hug that left knee in towards our chest. Holding behind the leg or grabbing the strap, we send it away from us. Your next exhale bends the knee and takes it to the other side as we twist things out. Adding any props that we might want here for our twist. Any stacking, staggering, or maybe even binds. And our next exhale releases everything through center. Feel free to take any movement that you might like as we find our way into our final resting pose. You're welcome to take a constructive rest or a corpse pose. You're welcome to stay in your chair or find something close by that feels a little more comfortable. Maybe adding pillows or props of any sort. As you make any final movements so that you can start to come into complete relaxation. Really take a deep, full breath in and hold it at the top. Taking in one more sip of air. And then with your exhale, allow an intentional transition inward. As you feel the support of what's beneath you, maybe even feeling the support of yourself, your loving self. As you simply breathe in and breathe out without adjusting it, so that you can start to empty out physically, mentally, and emotionally, which really allows for you to dive inward. Notice if you're trying hard at being here or resisting, if there's tension. And see if with your exhale, you can feel a wave of water smoothing out all the muscles of your body, letting it grow heavier as you allow yourself to surrender to our final moments together. Today, we'll end class as I guide you in guided imagery meditation. We'll begin to imagine ourselves settled into a cozy spot at a beautiful ocean front with soft sand on a beautiful sunny summer day. This is maybe a beach you've been to many times before, or maybe just here in your imagination today. But as you take a big breath in, you feel your lungs filling with the salty, humid air. As you expand your breath slowly, notice any thoughts that come into your mind. Label it a thought, and then let it move on, drifting away on a cloud without any more attention as it floats away. We'll return our focus to our breath and onto this beautiful ocean scenery in front of us. As we begin to purposefully deepen our breath, allowing it to flow like the ocean. Maybe you feel the light of the sun as it warms your skin. Or maybe there's a cool breeze that brushes by and caresses you. Continuing to breathe softly. Maybe the sun peeks behind clouds as it creeps across the sky. You gaze out over the brilliant ocean, noticing the teal or sapphire blue color of the ocean. Maybe noticing calm waves breaking in the distance. As you sit either on a chair or a towel, relaxing back, you begin to observe this place with all of your senses. Maybe there are small dunes dotting the beach's surface, or maybe monolithic rocks or huge cliffs above you, mountains at the horizon. Maybe there are wispy sea oats with small white flowers, or tall grasses that rustle in the breeze. Maybe there are palm trees or cactuses. But allow your breath to be like the waves of the ocean, flowing in and flowing out. Maybe with your next breath in, you notice a sweet floral scent of the wildflowers mixed with the salty air you can almost taste. Maybe you decide to get up and meander down the beach, walking through the soft dunes. Maybe you feel the sand shifting between your toes and gently under your feet as you walk. Maybe something catches your eyes and you bend down to pick up a beach treasure, noticing as the sand grains fall through your fingers, as you begin to examine your find, maybe turning it in your hand and feeling its texture against your skin. Maybe you hold it tight as you look out over the vast ocean, taking in a deep inhale. Maybe a feeling of tranquility washes over you. Maybe you continue to wander the beach, stopping for any treasures or sights that speak to your spirit. As you breathe the salty air in deeply, maybe you're close enough to the water's edge, feel a light spray of the ocean on your face and skin, instantly cooling the warmth from the sun above. Maybe even the slight taste of salt water on your lips. Gentle waves foam and crash at the shoreline. Maybe you decide to start to make your way back to your chair or towel as you notice a school of dolphins jumping playfully on the vast ocean horizon. Or maybe as you sit down, the familiar V formations of birds soaring along the ocean's edge is what catches your attention. Reminding yourself to breathe in the beauty that surrounds you as you settle down into your spot, Carefully placing your collected treasures next to you on the ground or towel. You smile, maybe even feeling content or at peace, having fully taken the time to explore this wondrous place. We inhale deeply and we rest back, completely relaxed inside and out. And as you take the deepest breath of your day so far, you start to come back into this space. Maybe you wiggle fingers and toes. Let the ocean fade as you feel the support of your props in the Colorado air around you. And as you're ready, in your own time, in your own way, start to come back into an upright position facing me in your own time, in your own way. Thank you so much for joining today. It's such an honor to flow with you. I hope you have a great rest of your week.